Yeah, what's poppin', guys? Sizzle here. Welcome to another episode of How's the HUD? And in this episode, we're going to be taking a look at Xhud by Peaches. And we start off with this nice resolution picker. I got a 1080p monitor, so I will apply that. Game will freeze for several seconds. Alright then. I always find it interesting when HUDs have stuff like this. It does mean that people do care and that they're making their HUDs accessible. So that's always nice to see, but it is also really interesting on an initial install. Either way, speaking of my initial impressions of this are pretty interesting. It seems very minimalist. Quick settings, customization, streamer mode. So streamer mode, that's always nice. Quick settings. Oh, this is really cool. You can change the voice chat, the voice volume, the text chat duration, notifications. I don't know what CC callouts are, but that's probably useful. Team status, left-handed weapons, crosshair. You can change the crosshair and all that. Showing damage, time. This is really cool. I love having this. This is like really sick. Like these are in-game settings. It's not HUD settings, but it's nice to have that easily accessible. Customizations. I'm assuming this is just not crosshair. This is HUD customizations. So we have when we have our HP warnings, the height of the chat, the player model on or off, the friends list. You could toggle it here. I do think it's kind of unfortunate the friends list toggle way down here in the corner. If I hit save customizations, I guess it takes a second to load. It's clearly still loading right now because I can't access anything in the menu. Nice, it does work. Friends list toggle is there, although I think the friends list toggle, maybe I'm weird for this, but I think having a friends list toggle just as a button, very easily accessible, rather than something you have to kind of click through menus to find, is nicer, but having it at all is a big plus in my eyes. I do love the customization options they already have in this HUD. Very clean, very nicely presented. You got a speedometer. You can put that wherever. We have hit markers if you want them. I don't really want them, so I'm not going to mess with that. I've come to find I don't like them. Options, advanced options, inventory, and Minco store, servers, and create server. A very simple stuff. I love to see it. Actually beautiful. Inventory leads you first to the backpack right away, and that's where most people don't want to go, but you then have loadouts right after. I guess how would you pick which loadout to go to be more specific? And it is very easily clickable through, right? Backpack right there, loadouts right there. They are moved one click from the menus. This was done in Half-Life 2 HUD, and I really like when they did it that way. This is like the next best thing, where you first start off with the inventory already in the backpack, and then you can click through your classes nice and simple. It's like its own, like when you're in game and you click through what class you want to pick. This is the same type of thing. It's got the same move characters around, right click to zoom, control to change lighting and all that every other HUD has, and I didn't know was accessible. Because the controls aren't listed anywhere, and this is the same problem where I don't really know the controls, you just have to know them by heart. I think that's a problem with a lot of HUDs. Just have it written somewhere in the corner. I know this HUD's trying to be super clean, but it doesn't hurt the cleanliness to just have controls listed somewhere. Pretty cool stuff, though. I like the way you can click through these menus. That's not done by most HUDs. That's very nicely done here. And yeah, there's no coin to click though. That is a big downside. That's like the only really notable thing. I don't have a clickable coin when I'm queuing for games. We hit the game button to go queue games. We have man vs machine, competitive, and casual. I do like this because it removed the community server option, just made that right here instantly accessible. I just click servers to go directly to community servers, and then casual, competitive, man vs machine are just in their own menu here, because that is really what you want to do when you want to go play games. We got nice clickable menus here. Unfortunately, it's the same problem as the stock HUD, where if I click onto one of these by mistake and then want to click the other one, it just overlays it, and if I want to click out of it, it clicks out of the whole thing. Not sure if there's an easy fix to that, but I found that to be kind of annoying with a lot of custom HUDs. But overall, looks super clean, nice and stylized. Main menu looks nice and stylized. Only real downside is no clickable coin, which I know most people don't care about, but I like to have access to. We had a nice little animated thing on the loading screen. Not like the whole loading screen, but just like a little spinning plus signs. That's pretty neat. Unfortunately, I think it's just a limitation of custom HUDs. They don't have like per map info or whatever. But yeah, loading screen looked pretty good. Nice transparent thing loading in here. Nice simple character selector. Can't drag around the characters in here though. Don't. But after middleman HUD made so you can drag the characters when you select them here, I feel like having that is just such like a nice small addition to have, and I can't live with that. But yeah, we got the usual minimal HUD type of shenanigans going on here, right? Health on the left, ammo on the right. The weird thing with this one is if you have no ammo, the line stays out here. I don't really like that. Most other HUDs get rid of that when you swap like a melee weapon or a sapper or something, and I think you just should. Because it makes you feel like something should be there. You should be looking there, but there's just nothing there. It's especially bad because your knife and that line are at the exact same spot, so you just notice it right away. Looking at people's health, it's very weird. Their names are weirdly condensed and like hard to see, and then their health is nice. Their health is nice and accessible. I'm assuming that bar drains as they get lower health, but reading people's names is really weird, and it's like out of box. I guess they didn't test for 1080p like fully. Up at top, the health is very nice. I actually like the way they did that. They got nice yellow, red, and green, except instead of going vertically like on Bud HUD and stuff, it goes horizontally, which I actually like. This is probably my favorite iteration of the top of the screen out of any HUD I've seen. You can even see who's dead very easily because they're highlighted in white. Like, that's actually really, really sick. Only really downside is that names are cut off, but I don't even know if any other HUD fixes that either, so fair enough. Going over to like, Soldier, like when you have ammo there, why does Soldier have no line? Is that a Spy only bug? The Spy has a permanent line there. Soldier doesn't even have a line there. Pyro doesn't have a line there. Is Spy the only one that gets that problem? Okay, meters are impossible to know what's what. I mean, I guess you kind of just will know what's what eventually. Like, I now know... I don't actually know which one this one's tied to. The melee's the top, your secondary's the middle, and the primary's the bottom. I feel like it should be the opposite order, and I also don't see why you can't just have that more middle, like more centralized. But fair enough. Alright, charge meter's central. Like, this is inconsistent. This is like kind of a problem for me. If you're gonna have a HUD, you should make it consistent. This HUD is inconsistent. For the demo man, the charge meter's in the middle. For the scout, the charge meters are on the bottom right. Alright, that's a bit of a problem. And then for the spy, oh, is that the cloak meter? I didn't even process that the cloak meter would be the thing in the bottom right. But why is the demo man's charge meter the only one central? That's really weird to me. Maybe this is still in development, in which case I guess I can cut them some slack, but you gotta make it make sense, because that doesn't make sense. Build menu is really small, but you don't really have to read it. It is in the bottom left here, very nicely placed. I feel like that's where most HUDs have it, either in this bottom left area, in the middle there, and then chat in the top left. In my personal opinion, chat in the top left, kill feed in the top right, it just kind of peak. They're just like nice and out of the way, but still very much on your screen, so you can still read them. Medic, let's see, medic. We have Uber charge on the right, which I personally don't like. I like having it more central, but it's central enough where I can read it easily, and I can see that guy's health, I can see what class he's on, you know, etc., etc. Like, I get all the information I need very easily. That's clearly the one thing this HUD does well. But why is my... Like, why do I have an Uber meter in the middle here? Why do I have the demo charge meter in the middle? But why is Spy Cloak in the bottom right and Scout, like, meters in the bottom right? Like, what? That doesn't make sense to me. That actually... I know it's such a minor thing, but it really, really annoys me. Because they've clearly put a lot of effort into making the rest of this HUD so nice. Like, the customization options are insane. They even have, like, custom things for fixing broken sound, fixing invisible players, you know... vote, report, and mute. Like, it's all so easy, so nicely accessible, it looks so damn good. And then you go on and have the sandwich meter in the bottom right here, but every other meter, like, I don't get it. I feel like you gotta be consistent with stuff like this. I guess with sandwiches is particularly weird. I don't even normally have a sandwich meter in most HUDs, I feel like. Probably nice to have, but it's weird having it be there when I have my minigun out, I feel. I don't even know why that feels wrong to me, but this HUD really is... This HUD made me think. Because why is this in the middle, but then the heavy isn't? Is it because I have the gunboats on? Like, if I go real quick to Demo Man and I swap... Or not the gunboats, but you know what I mean. If I go swap to the grenade launcher, no, it's still central. That makes no sense. Because on Demo Man, now I'm looking in the middle for my charge meter, and I have my ammo on the bottom right, but with heavy, ammo and the meter in the bottom right. Like, that just... I don't like that. Everything else about this looks super clean, super minimal, super nice. Definitely very stylized. Like, even though this is minimal, it doesn't look like most other minimal HUDs. I'm a big fan of that. The customization options are very, very nice. They have a lot of options available for customization. But overall, there's really not much more to say. Like, that knocks this HUD down so much for me. If it wasn't for that, if the meters were consistent, and they didn't look super out of place. Like when I'm on Spy here and it's just floating there in the bottom right, that looks so bad in my opinion. But if it wasn't for that like inconsistency, and then having your disguise info in the middle is interesting. But if it wasn't for that inconsistency, I feel like this HUD would be a very solid, like, you know, just 5 out of 5. Solid minimalist HUD, very customizable, very particularly stylized. Like, a lot of minimalist HUDs all look the same. This looks different than the other minimalist HUDs while having the same minimalism. But, yeah. End screen thing also looks solid. It's also very customized like before, but just looks good. Okay, and I guess we're on the losing team, so we can't swap the respawn. On this one, you can swap the respawn if you're on the winning team, which is pretty cool. Pretty neat little tech. But yeah, that's pretty much all there's to say about it. We got our kills and deaths very easily, right? That's 102, I think. But it's not changing when I click to other players, which is very weird, because normally it does that. Okay, now it is. I guess I was just tripping. But yeah, like seeing one kill, 0 deaths, 2... Sorry. 1 kill, 0 assists, 2 deaths, and then this guy 325. The coloring on that's nice, everything else on that's nice, right? The damage and heals, like the big things you want to see on most people, you see right there, and it still has the smaller stuff in the bottom right there, right? Amount of backstabs, invulns, headshots, captures, defenses. It's still there, it's still accessible, you can see 1 capture, 1 defense, but the stuff you want to see is nice and big and visible. And I like that. This HUD, like, just so much right that I haven't seen too many other HUDs doing. And then it has these charge meters that are like really noticeable, just in like the wrong places. Like I don't like how inconsistent. What is this meter? That's not even a meter. I'm just like going crazy now. And why is my mark for death behind my health? Like I don't know if I like that. I guess like where else do you put it? I would have it floating above, but it's not too bad behind. I also didn't check for low health indicators, which I normally do, so let's go do that real quick. Whoops. The low health thing is just like a red... Okay, it's a red bar that fills up the lower you hard. That's a pretty interesting way of doing it. I like the more animated nature of TF2's stock little plus sign that animates. It also makes the red mini-crit skull like impossible to see. So yeah, there's just like a lot of smaller things that really start adding up with this HUD that they're kind of not doing right, that even stock TF2's HUD is done correctly. And overall, I can't really, in good faith, give this above a 3 out of 5 with that knowledge. I feel like if it was all fixed, it would be a 5 out of 5. But there's like some really notable downsides for me, right? A HUD is such a small thing to begin with. If I install a custom HUD just for it to have notable problems that the stock HUD didn't even have, I feel like that's a real big problem. So for me, this is just a 3 out of 5. Like this has like the same amount of problems that stock HUD had. But somebody spent a lot of time, clearly a lot of time working on this. I mean, the menus are pristine. This pause menu, the main menu are pristine. The customization options are insane. The icons, everything looks super, super clean. But then the actual main HUD looks like off. Like even the top bit, like I had mentioned earlier. I think the top looks like, that's like the best top screen I've ever seen in any of these HUDs. I really like the way it looks. But yeah, with all that being said, that's everything I can say. I've already given the rating 3 out of 5, and that's all I'm going to be saying. I guess spectating also is perfectly fine. I probably should mention that, and the kill screen is also perfectly fine. Like everything looks good. But yeah, with that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Let me know if I'm wrong for that rating, or if you disagree with what I'm saying in the comments below. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.